Welcome, one and all, to the City of West Miami Regular Commission meeting. Today is Wednesday, March 4th at 7:35 p.m. Madam Manager, for the invocation, please.
Thank you. Please rise. Lord, this evening we thank you again for your many blessings. We pray for those that are ill and frail in our community. We pray for our leaders so that they can make the right decisions for the greater good of the community. We pray for our law enforcement officers and all of our first responders and our military personnel so that they can return home safely to their families. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Commissioner Blanes, the Pledge of Allegiance, sir.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Roll call, Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez,
Present.
Vice Mayor Luciano Suarez is excused this evening, Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Here.
Commissioner Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum. City Manager Yolanda Aguilar, City Attorney Jose Villalobos, and City Clerk Arneri Gonzalez present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for February 19, 2020, regular commission meeting.
Motion? Second.
Thank you. Call the vote.
Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca.
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez.
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item.
Item 5, public comments.
No, and no one signed
None
up for
this
public
evening, Madam
comments?
Mayor.
Thank you. And just to be sure, Madam Clerk, there's nothing I need to take out of order tonight, correct?
No, yeah, you're correct.
Okay, thank you. Proceed. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Mayor, I don't have a written report this evening. Verbally want to report that we are securing all of our purchases for our Easter egg hunt, which is scheduled for Saturday, April 4th, 2020, as approved by this commission at 10 a.m. So we're working on the flyers and we're working on procuring all the goods and services for the event. That
Thank-
concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item.
Report of the city attorney.
I'd like for the city clerk to report first.
The city, oh, okay, so then we will.
My report is part of the item 11A of the agenda. Would you wait for my report and then maybe we can defer your report after mine?
Okay. Then I'll report. A resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami calling for election of mayor and 3 commissioners members elected at large, with the election to be held on Tuesday, April 14, 2020, as provided by charter, providing for designation of the canvassing board, providing for the closing of registration books, designation of hours and place in voting, and establishing the qualifying fee for the mayor and commissioner members, and providing for an effective date. Mayor Muñoz, this is a memo to the commission by Jose Villalobos, city attorney. Mayor Muñoz was elected mayor of the city of West Miami at the 2018 general elections for the 2-year terms up to April 2020, at which time, if he chose, he could run for office for a 2-year term. Rhonda Rodriguez was elected commissioner on April 2018 to serve as commissioner for a period of 4 years up to April of 2022. Rhonda was also selected to serve as vice mayor for a period of 2 years until 2020, until such time are included into the 4-year term. In 2016, Commissioner Candida Blanca was elected to serve as commissioner for a period of 4 years, at which time it would expire in 2020, at which time Commissioner Blanca could run for re-election in 2020 if so desired. Commissioner Luciano Suarez was elected to serve commissioner for a period of 4 years, and that would expire in 2020, at which time, if he wanted, he could seek for re-election if he so desired. In 2018, Commissioner Juan Blanes was elected to serve as commissioner for 4 years, which terms expired on 2022, at which time Commissioner Blanes could run for re-election if so desired. And I quote Section 3.03, 3.03C, and 3.03A. On February 20, 2019, Mayor Mueña tendered his resignation as mayor from his two-year term, effective February 28, 2019. Vice Mayor Ronda Rodriguez became mayor of the city of West Miami by operation of law. And I quote Section 3.8, Mayor and Vice Mayor. To serve as mayor for the unexpired term for 2 years left by Mayor Mueña until the next general election of 2020, at which time she may run for re-election if she so desired. The vacant seat of my Vice Mayor Rodriguez was filled by majority vote of the commission to serve until the next general election of 2020, at which time the remainder of the unexpired term will be filled by election. And I quote 3.5, parent C, parent 2. The charter indicates that the unexpired term in the term of the position and does not state that the person elected to serve until the next election would be the one to be serving for 2 years. On March 1st, 2019, Commissioner selected Eric Diaz-Padrón to fill the vacancy left by Mayor Ronda Rodriguez. And a regular election was scheduled to take place pursuant to Resolution 2020-08, at which time the seat of mayor and 3 commissioners were to be placed on the ballot. 2 seats to be filled for a term of 4 years, and 1 seat to be filled for the unexpired term of 2 years left by Mayor, former Commissioner Ronda Rodriguez. According to the charter, in the event that more than 3 candidates qualify to run for the City Commission, then out of the slate of candidates for the commission in 2020 election, the 3 candidates receiving the highest number of votes will be declared commissioners. That was not the case. Out of the 3 elected commissioners, the 2 commissioners, should there have been an election, the highest position would serve for a term of 4 years, or until 2024. Out of the 3 elected commissioners, the one receiving the least number of votes would serve for an unexpired term of Mayor Ronda Rodriguez, which in 2 years or 2022. Lastly, the candidate receiving the highest number of votes in that election would serve as a vice mayor for the term of 2 years, and the rest would be serving as a commissioner for a 2-year term. In the event of a tie, the number of votes, the vice mayor will be selected by lot. At a regular commission meeting held on February 5th, 2020, which I already referred to, a resolution was adopted by the City Commission calling for election for the mayor and 3 city commissioners members. At the end of the qualifying date of February 28, 2020, only 3 candidates qualified for the position of commissioners, all being incumbent. And only 1 candidate qualified for the office of mayor, which that was the incumbent mayor. Having no other qualifying individual for the position of the city commission, the City of West Miami mayor and the incumbent position have been elected. That would be according to Section 3.03, parent D. Out of the 3 incumbents elected to the commission, 2 will serve elected because no one filed. Out of the 3 incumbents elected to the commission, 2 will serve for a 4-year term, and 1 will serve for a 2-year term. The determination of the standards by which the commissioner will serve 4 years and 2 years is not specifically determined in the charter. However, a review of the charter reveals the intent of the framers and past charter review and the electorate clearly addresses resolution of the determination of election for mayor, vice mayor, and commissioners to be resolved by lot. Again, the word lot is mentioned. And there's a footnote, parentheses, which are mentioned by lot, section 3.03, parent A, 3.03, parent B, 3.3, parent D. In addition, in an analogous circumstance of February 2nd, 2002, the determination of the terms who would serve for 4 years and who would serve for 2 years was determined by lot. That was a drawing from a hat. It is my opinion, therefore, that since there are 2 commissioners who will serve for 4 years and 1 commissioner that will serve for 2 years, these terms shall be determined by lot. The office of the vice mayor shall also be selected by lot from the 2 candidates that had drawn 4 years, again by lot. In other words, the position will be placed in a ballot mentioning 4 years, 4 years, and 2 years. Those who filled or pull the 4 years shall serve like before for 4 years. And whoever pulls for 2 years shall serve for 2 years. And I'm filing this with the clerk. That's my report. At some point, you will have to determine when and how you will be deciding. In the past have been by tossing of a coin when there's 2 ties. But in this particular case, we have 3 ties. The 3 commissioners that were unopposed and were elected by operation of law. So as it was done before, the suggestion would be, one of the suggestions would be that drawing should be, again, like it happened before, by lot, by pulling out of a hat, or by pulling out of a card, or by rolling of the dice, of whatever method you use. But that should be the methodology that would be recommended by this office. Any questions?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. A
Ma-
comment first. Madam Clerk, can you be sure I get a copy of that opinion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca, go ahead.
Mr. Villalobos, that means that every one of us must get the paper, right? If we have to be present, all of the 3, right?
Everyone should be
Right.
present. Whoever chooses not to be present, I cannot force anybody to be present or not present.
Well, if they are not present, the action should be taken.
Okay.
Every
What it was
action
advertised,
takes
what it was advertised for
consequence.
today was my report. In the past, the commission has elected to have a special commission meeting to select the offices that should be filled in. So my recommendation would be at some point that you call for a special election, for a special meeting, at which time whoever's going to serve for 2 years and whoever's going to serve for 4 years should be determined. Now, the limitation is that the clerk, which happens to be also the election official, has to tell us when is the deadline that she has to report to the election commission, because there's a limitation. You cannot go further than, what date, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Attorney and members of the City Commission, following past practice, the determination by lot of commission members of the Office of the Vice Mayor has been scheduled for the date the election was supposed to take place, which is April 14, 2020, and the time is 12 o'clock at noon, 12 o'clock.
So we all have to be present.
The meeting will be a special meeting, will be advertised, and will be as regularly we do. That's what we're gonna
But we
do
all
as a special
have to be
meeting.
present.
The
No-
answer is, the answer is they should be present, yes.
But the person that doesn't show up, they have to get consequence. That's my opinion.
Okay. Anything else?
Any other comments or questions? Okay.
I think that perhaps, Madam Clerk, you suggested that that special meeting should take place on April 14th.
Yes, Mr. Attorney.
Is there any reason why it should not be held before? I mean, I'm just asking, I'm not telling you.
It has been done, past practice, it's always been done on the day of the
Okay.
election.
So I agree with the clerk. It should be done on the 14th of April, so she can report. It cannot pass February 14th because after, I'm sorry, April 14th, because after April 14th, none of you, except Commissioner Blanes, are elected. Your term finishes on April 14th. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Attorney.
Okay.
Any comments or questions for the city attorney?
When is the last day that the Elections Department can receive this information? Is that the 14th?
The elections department already have the information as to the end of qualifying, which is what they needed in order to, for us to let them know that no election is taking place because no more candidates other than the incumbents qualified. So the elections department have the information as we speak. It was sent to them at the end of qualifying. Now we have to follow our procedure and determine who is gonna be vice mayor and determine the offices of our commission.
What the clerk is suggesting is that I should follow what she, according to her record, what had been done before.
Yes.
If the record shows that it had been on the election day that had been advertised in the resolution 2020-08, and that's the way that, if she suggests that, that's the way that I would second that suggestion.
Any questions or comments from the table for the city attorney? Okay, then let me just clarify what I'm understanding, Mr. Attorney. On April 14th at 12 p.m., we will determine by lot 2 4-year terms, 1 2-year term, and vice mayor. Is that
And
correct, sir?
Out of the four, and out of the two that draws the 4-year term, there will be a second drawing to see, or a flipping of the coin, and see who's going to be the vice mayor.
Thank you, sir. Last call for questions or comments.
Can we already set that meeting, because we have to set it anyways? The April 14th meeting?
Let's set it.
Yeah.
April 14, 12 p.m. Are we all in agreement?
12 noon.
12 noon.
Yes.
We're in agreement? It is set, Madam Clerk. Thank you, sir. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam Mayor, item 8, report of the city engineers. There is a report in reference to certain traffic calmers, stop versus yield signs, and I believe the city manager has a comment on that.
Yes, I contacted the city engineer, and they're still working with the county on understanding the comments that have been made on the interlocal agreement. And I know there's one meeting that's pending regarding another matter of concern, which the county has either jurisdiction and input over this. So I would recommend that the item stay on the agenda, but that we defer it as a courtesy to Frank Alonso. And until such time we meet with the county, Madam Mayor, which we were scheduled to do so today. Unfortunately, the scheduling did not allow us to proceed with that meeting. So I'm just recommending that we defer this item until the next commission meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone opposed to the manager's recommendation? So be it. Madam Clerk, carry
Thank
this
you.
over to the next meeting, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Next item.
Item 9, committee reports, report of the mayor.
I do not have a report, Madam Manager. Madam Clerk.
Any other committee?
Any other committee reports? Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business. Item 10A, nomination of members of the Recreation Advisory Board.
Commissioner Blanes.
Yes, thank you. And I do have a nomination, Alex Diaz. I would like to nominate him to the Recreational Board. If,
And he is present here this evening.
can you step up, Alex? Introduce yourself and give us your name, your address for the record.
Alexander Diaz, 6227 Southwest 19th Street. And I am very grateful and I accept the the nomination.
And we are very grateful.
We are grateful to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to seeing you around a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
Madam Clerk, that is our nomination for the Recreational
I
Advisory
have your
Board.
information. Actually,
Excellent choice, Commissioner Blanes.
Yep.
Excellent choice.
I'll need your phone number
Okay.
and your information, your email address. You can write it for me.
So, if I may, Commissioner Blanes?
I don't think so.
I
We don't,
think
do we
that-
have, we don't have, do we have to vote? No. Nomination.
Nomination, and you need to.
All in
agree.
favor of
Right.
Commissioner Blanes, of Alex Diaz's nomination to the advisory board?
Aye.
Thank you, and I will be working with Commissioner Blanes on our meeting day now that we have a board, because this board is instrumental when it comes to applying for grants. So we will brief Alexander Diaz, where we're at, basically what occurred at the last meeting, and then he will be sworn in at the Recreation Advisory Board meeting.
We have a
So-
full board now, right? That was it, that completes the full
should.
board. Okay,
We should have a full board.
perfect.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the recently married couple.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Yes, item 11, under new business agenda item 11A, a report by the Office of the City Clerk in reference to the April 10th, 2020 elections, and understanding that the city attorney mostly reported in regards to terms and procedure. It is my duty to report that the end of the qualifying period for the April 14, 2020 West Miami elections ended on February 28, 2020 at 12 noon, and the following candidates have qualified. Rhonda Rodriguez for the position of mayor was unopposed. For commissioners, Candida Blanca was unopposed, Eric Diaz-Padrón, and Luciano Suarez. 3 positions for the commission were unopposed. So pursuant to the city charter, section 303D, in the event there are no more than the necessary number of candidates to fill all expired terms of the council, no election shall be held, and each of the candidates shall be elected to office, and the office of the vice mayor shall be determined by lot. The office of the vice mayor will be determined by lot on April 14, 2020 at 12 noon. Place, City of West Miami Commission Chambers, 901 Southwest 62nd Avenue, West Miami, Florida. The swearing-in ceremony will be held on Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 8 p.m. This is following the charter. So please mark your calendars. At the City of West Miami Commission Chambers, 2nd floor, 901 Southwest 62nd Avenue. And that concludes my report, respectfully submitted by your city clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
So 2 dates, the April 14, 2020 at noon, at 12 noon, the determination by lot, and April 20th, 2020 at 8 p.m., the swearing-in ceremony.
I am making note of
concludes
that
my
right
report.
now.
We'll be sending out calendars.
Yes.
To you all. April
April
20th at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Okay, let's note our calendars accordingly, and yes, Madam Manager, if you'll send us an official calendar, but let's put a save the date in our calendars. Okay, next,
Madam Mayor, and
Yes.
also I'd like to remind the commission members that were reelected. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone on your reelection, and I look forward to working with the commission for another cycle, let's just say that. And I'm very happy on your recent victory. That being said, I wish to ask you to start thinking about who you would like to have your oath of office administered. If you have a judge that you have a relationship with or someone special, please communicate to us so we can start preparing the oath of office and forwarding that oath to the person administering the oath.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Okay, next item.
Item 11B, report by the Office of the City Clerk in reference to bid results for the project titled Replacement of All Cooper Park Tables, Benches, and Trash Containers and Concrete Work. And on February 25th, 2020, at 2 p.m., the Cooper Park benches, tables, and waste receptacles bid was opened, and one bid was received by Miracle Recreation Equipment Company in the amount of $62,682.71. That concludes my report.
Mr. Penna?
I believe it's item C.
What was that?
She would have to read item C.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, item C.
Item C is a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Miracle Recreation Equipment Company for the amount of $62,682.71 for the purpose of accomplishing the replacement of all Cooper Park tables, benches, trash containers, and concrete work, providing for funds from park impact fees, providing for effective date.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say? Anything to add to this?
If you have any questions.
Well,
Go right ahead,
yes,
sir.
you say there was only one bid received?
That's correct.
Only one?
One bidder submitted a bid.
And does it, has this been considered as a just,
It's comparable to the amount that we've requested as quotes for the replacement of the equipment.
okay.
I remember the initial proposal.
I'm sorry?
The initial, sorry.
I think your mic, sir.
It's on. I didn't hear the question. Go ahead.
The initial proposal from Wabash, I don't remember the name, was it Wabash?
Miracle, same company.
Oh, the same company?
Yeah.
Was that one lower?
No, I believe it was higher, a little bit, 71,000, something like that.
71,000?
Okay, so and this came out 62.
That's correct. But we went ahead and we placed it in the open market to have a bid, and they submitted the bid for that amount.
So, Mr. Penna, in your opinion, this is a fair and just amount to be
definitely.
paid for the work that's
For the amount of work that's going to be replaced.
done?
Okay. What kind of concrete work are they gonna do?
Well, the pads that the tables are mounted on, all that has to come out. And all that has to be redone to the new specs, new ADA requirements. All that has to be removed once we remove the old furniture.
Okay.
Are we changing the location, or they're going exactly where they are?
We may change some locations because of the landscaping that we've added over time may not coincide with what we want there now.
Okay,
So it'll be the same quantity, it just might
right,
be in different
right.
locations.
Okay, okay.
And the color?
Again, the color is something that the manager and I will pick out once we get ready to do the work.
Okay.
We've usually been consistent with using earth tones, something that blends in with the trees and pretty much the landscape of our parks.
Okay. All right.
Now, Mr. Penna, this is Cooper Park, right?
That's correct.
Do we still have
Yes.
pending the benches at the rec? Because I know those have placed as well, or have they been done already?
No, the rec center,
Is-
the bleachers were purchased under a different contract.
But what about there are some tables
There's
similar
a,
to
there's a
the
couple
ones
of
that are at the
tables, but
rec?
they're not in bad condition yet, and yet we have other work that's gonna go on there, so
Okay.
we'll bring that in as a package once we get ready for the other
Okay.
work.
Perfect, okay, good.
And, while we're on the topic of Cooper Park for a second, I don't want to miss an opportunity to,
Go right ahead.
before I forget. I was out there looking at the tables and benches and everything, and I noticed, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, there's a plaque there for a former city historian. And
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
The
It'll be
electrical,
replaced.
the electrical is down by
no,
that.
No, it's a plaque for this tree is in memorial.
It's not there.
But there's no
The
tree.
tree's not there.
Well-
And so is the electrical, there was an
Correct, but-
electrical outlet there that was down, and Mr. Penna is
Yeah,
already
that's-
working on
that's-
that.
Well, the electrical has been repaired. The tree that Commissioner Diaz-Padrón is talking about is a Royal Ponciana tree that we had there in the past, and during one of the storms, it got knocked down and got removed. That was to the Pearl Herbert.
Correct.
And we have, at Higgins Farms, we have a Royal Ponciana, huge Royal Ponciana to put there. We just haven't worked out the logistics yet of putting it back in there.
Oh, so there is that's in the works.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. It just looked, I noticed it and it looked a little
Plaque is there.
I believe you
ridiculous.
were with us when we went to look at it.
Yes, and
The
I,
Royal
and I, and I
Ponciana.
noticed that when I looked at the outlet that was down, I noticed a plaque there. Yes, but I knew, I had already asked you, and you told me
Yeah.
you were working on it, so.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes.
These are, excuse me, Madam Mayor, these are the trees that Higgins Farm, they're donating to the city, correct?
No, those have already been installed. This
Oh,
is
those are
just one tree
the
that,
palm trees that were installed
one tree that
already.
we saw on his land that we asked him to reserve for replacement of that
For-
Royal
okay.
Ponciana.
Okay. And that replaces the same species of tree that was there before, correct?
It's a flowering tree.
Any other questions for Mr. Penna on 11C?
Madam Mayor, may I
Yes.
ask a question? What is the duration for these tables and these benches?
We installed those in '98.
So
They've lasted pretty good. Right now, they're
20
beginning to-
years,
They're beginning to show their
Yes.
age.
yes.
It's time, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I need a motion.
Motion.
Second?
Call the vote?
Commissioner Diaz-Padrón, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you, Mr. Penna. Next item?
Item 11D, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami waiving competitive bidding as provided in section 274A B, Article 4 of the city code of the city of West Miami, and authorizing the city manager to piggyback off the Orange County, a political subdivision of the state of Florida, their agreement with Hydro Services ABS Pumps Exhibit A in lieu of the City of West Miami's competitive bidding procedure, accepting a bid that has been received, Exhibit B, for the purpose of replacing and installing 2 sewer pumps at the lift station of Southwest 66th Avenue and Southwest 20th Street, known as Lift Station Number 2, that has failed, providing for funding for said pump from the Sewer Impact Fee Fund, providing for terms and conditions for said purchase contract, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Again, this is for the purchase of 2 sewer lift station pumps like the ones we did by Commissioner Blanes' house on Sewer Pump Station 3. Again, the existing pumps are nearing 20 years of age, and according to the agreements we have with Miami-Dade County for CMOM, we need to be proactive in replacing equipment before it actually goes down. These stations do receive the flow from the 3 new buildings that are there on 67th Avenue, and we wouldn't want to back them up.
So just to clarify, they have not failed. We're being proactive and replacing them at the end of their expected life.
Life expectancy.
Life expectancy. Okay.
Correct. We will keep whichever one is in better shape for the one lift station that still has that type of model of pump.
And they have reached their life expectancy.
Yeah, we installed them in 2000.
Right.
And this is per, you said something about,
CMOM, it's the part of the consent decree that was agreed to with the federal courts on sewage spillage throughout Miami-Dade County when we were being forced into making emergency repairs for sewer overflows.
and that states at the end of the life expectancy, they should be replaced
Before,
before.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are right in terms, we are in terms with that, we're okay with that decree.
yes.
We keep it, okay. Any questions for Mr.
Anything
Penna?
anything that's out of that decree, they would put us on a moratorium, and we couldn't allow any more new building permits.
Okay,
I have a quick question.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to review the piggyback documents. Did the attorney review the piggybacking?
From
Yes.
Orange
You
County.
did, and everything is all good?
Everything's
Everything's all
okay.
good on your side, Mr. Penna, on the piggybacking, good?
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
any other questions for staff or the city attorney?
Again, we wish to emphasize that these pumps are being purchased with impact fees, sewer funds impact fees.
Motion.
Second?
Call the vote?
Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Next item.
Item 11E, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami amending resolution 2019-40 by adding a change order for the construction of the restroom at Garden Club Park located at 6585 Southwest 12th Street, West Miami, Florida, accepting the recommendation of staff, authorizing the city manager to execute the change order in the amount of $40,000, providing said funds allocated in the City of West Miami approved 2019-2020 general funds, Parks Division, accounts 575-600, providing for effective date.
Mr.
Res-
Penna?
Resolution 2019-40 is for the addition of the passport office. That contractor is the one that's doing the work there. And we have, for the past year, been trying to get a contractor to give us a reasonable price to build the restroom that we bought, similar to the one we have at Cooper Park. So in order to get that built, I've solicited from different contractors quotes for the work. This is the lowest quote that I've ever gotten for that work, and we could execute it by allowing him a change order to his present contract.
Most proposals, to add to that, if I'm correct, Mr. Penn, I know you have talked to a number of contractors. Most proposals have ranged in the vicinity of $70,000 to $80,000 to put together the bathroom that is already here and was purchased under your authorization about a year ago. And so Mr. Penn had talked to ConBuild only because they have their manpower here. They have equipment and they should be ready to go. I would encourage you to authorize this change order because we also need to be done with this park. The construction, the acquisition of the expansion project and everything that has gone into the Garden Club Park has been partially funded by grants for the trees, a CDBG grant by Miami-Dade County, impact fees, and before we're able to rent it, we need to make sure that there is a restroom facility there, because our recommendation is that the park also be allowed for rental, and we use that as income for our parks, as we do with other venues in the city. We've been approached several times, but because there is no restroom in place, we have not been able to, get the rental, the venue rental going. And so I think we're losing time and, of course, money, income for rentals.
Understood. Any questions for staff?
Same question as always. Mr. Attorney, is the amendment to the resolution proper?
Mr. Attorney, that question was for you.
I'm sorry?
Is the amendment to the resolution okay here?
I'm sorry, I
On
can't hear
item
you.
E- On item, my mic is, on
the
item,
amendment-
on
is
item
the-
E, is the amendment to the resolution okay?
Yes, it is. I checked it out and it is.
Beautiful, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Comments, Madam Mayor? We did fund the construction of this park. It's in your parks account in the general fund, account 575-600, which is a capital outlay account. So it is contemplated in this year's budget.
Thank you, Madam Manager. I need if there's no other comments or questions, I need a motion.
Motion.
Second,
Call the vote?
Commissioner Diaz-Padrón,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes,
yes.
Commissioner Blanca,
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez.
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
One more request, since I'm here anyway, that extra $20,000 that's left
No.
over from the
No,
elections.
no, whatever it is, no.
The police department would like 10,
Oh,
and the
police
public works
department.
would like 10. We're willing to split it.
No, thanks. I actually.
I'm gonna defer that to our finance department.
If we do have savings, and we should have savings, and monitoring some items that may come up or that are already in the pipeline that we need to be responsible for, I'd like to see if you would agree that we start looking into the replacement of the marquee in the front of City Hall. That marquee is probably older than I am. And so I think we need to start looking at changing,
I don't think it's that old.
Mr. Penna, you and I need to have a talk.
If I'm not mistaken, we started talking about this a long time ago.
Yes.
With Commissioner Blanes and the sign. So we've had this conversation before.
Although I would love a new billboard out there, I prefer a new backhoe.
Okay, well, that's going to be up for,
Like I said, we need to talk.
I suggest that staff gets together and come back to us with whatever you feel is the priority.
Right.
The three of you can discuss what's the priority and come back and we will entertain your recommendations. Madam Manager, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 11F, discussion in reference to park rental fees by city manager.
Thank you. In keeping with this prior item that you just approved via a change order, I would like to bring to your attention the possibility of using Garden Club Park as an alternative source or an added source for rentals. I have been approached, I take my little granddaughters there, and I've been approached by several residents of the city who would like to rent a facility for birthday parties. So before we do that, we needed to conclude the improvements to the park. So I want to know whether we can start renting the venue if you authorize us to do it in the same fashion that we are currently utilizing the rental for our other venues, Cooper Park and the Pavilion. Now, it should be noted that the rentals are extremely low. Our pricing, the last time we looked at pricing for the venues was in 2011. So it's time for us to come back and, of course, give preferential treatment to our residents in terms of dates and in terms of rental fees. But if you go to any other park in Miami-Dade County or other municipalities, your rental fees are definitely not consistent with ours. So I would like to know whether this commission is friendly to allowing us to start renting that venue for birthday parties.
Mr. Penna, any reason why we cannot start renting that Garden Club Park after the bathroom's in? Okay. Then it's,
As long as the bathroom works,
is
I
there
think we'll
anyone,
be
is there
good.
anyone opposed at the table to starting to rent the garden?
It's a very
Club
nice
park?
park, it's contained, it's fenced in, so it's safe for the kids, and it has different areas for different age groups. So it's, parents really use it a lot. The kids go out there and use that park a lot.
You have this table's agreement and approval to start renting the venue? Yes, Commissioner Blanes?
Madam Manager, you mentioned that you were going to reassess the rental fees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we're gonna do that in the upcoming months because we do have other venues that we rent that are going to be part of the study that we're gonna conduct. And I'd like to come back with a comprehensive proposal. However, there are people that have paid for the facilities, for the rental of the venues in anticipation of their parties. And I suggest we honor the price that we gave
Absolutely.
them.
We honor
So
whatever
this would be
rentals there are and this.
Moving forward,
Correct.
new rental fees.
So you will come back to us with the rental fee, not only for the garden club,
Right,
but for all the other,
that is correct.
Parks.
All the other
Okay.
parks and all the other venues.
that'll be ready for the next meeting?
It should.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
very well. Any questions or comments on item F? No? Very good. Proceed, Madam Manager.
Thank you.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 12, consent agenda items, none this evening. Item 13, good of the order.
Does anyone have anything for the good of the order? Well, I have to say that I am honored and thrilled to be able to sit here for the next 2 years alongside of all of you. I feel we make a very good team, and I'm honored. I'm honored to be here, to be up here with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are
Thank
too.
you.
We are too.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.